To this explainer. Today, we're taking a seriously cinematic journey right inside the headset to uncover the absolute magic of virtual reality. We're going to see how these standard devices transform into fully customized gateways, breaking down exactly how these digital environments are built, and more importantly, how you can make them entirely your own. So think about this for a second. Imagine waking up from this intense dream where you were battling Thanos, saving the universe, and you wake up just wishing it was real. Well, what if I told you that you can actually step into a world exactly like that? By using this incredible blend of cutting-edge hardware and software, we're reaching a point where the digital world is becoming virtually indistinguishable from our physical one. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start inside the VR headset, move on to customizing your virtual world, then break down VR versus AR, look at some real-world VR applications, and finally, wrap up with the wild future of VR technology. All right, let's jump right into section 1, inside the VR headset. When you conceptually take one of these headsets apart, the engineering is just wild. You've got high-resolution displays, specialized lenses, motion sensors, and some seriously high-speed processors all packed in there. And here's a fun fact. These screens have to update your vision at least 90 times per second. If they don't, your brain notices the microstutters and you get motion sick almost instantly. It takes a massive amount of computing power to trick your senses that seamlessly. Now, the really crucial part is how we actually perceive that space in 3D. Those two lenses separate the high-resolution displays to feed a slightly different image to your left and right eye. That's stereoscopic 3D. It mimics exactly how our human vision works in the real world, totally tricking your brain into seeing true three-dimensional depth instead of just staring at a flat screen strapped to your face. And the way the hardware tracks your movement has completely evolved. Back in the day, with 3 degrees of freedom or 3DOF, you could really only look around from a fixed seated position. But 6 degrees of freedom, that completely changes the game. Advanced sensors are tracking every physical step you take, forward, backward, up and down. You're not just looking at a virtual world anymore, you are literally walking through it. Moving on to section 2, customizing your virtual world. Let's talk about making this space yours. If you've ever felt eye strain or gotten a headache in VR, you probably just needed to adjust your IPD, which stands for interpupillary distance. This setting physically moves the lenses inside the headset closer together or further apart to perfectly match the unique distance between your eyes. Honestly, it's the very first step you have to take to ensure crystal clear visual quality and comfort. You see, a default, straight out of the box setup gives you a pretty basic, flat experience. But once you start using the interactive UI overlays to customize your settings, the whole experience transforms. You get an expanded field of view, higher refresh rates, and spatial audio. Think about it. If a virtual helicopter flies right behind your left shoulder, spatial audio ensures that is exactly where you hear it coming from. And the software lets you build your perfect experience step by step. You can tweak your hand tracking sensitivity, dial in those controller layouts, and build a custom avatar that truly represents you. You can even design a completely unique virtual home environment. It really turns a generic piece of hardware into your own highly personalized gateway. Okay, let's clear up a major point of confusion in section 3, VR versus AR explained. The absolute key takeaway here is the concept of replacing versus adding. Virtual reality replaces your reality. It uses a closed headset to transport you to an Eiffel Tower simulation or a 360-degree helicopter ride, completely blocking out your living room. Augmented reality, on the other hand, keeps your living room totally visible, but magically adds digital elements right into it. For example, AR lets you pull out your tablet or throw on a headset like the Microsoft HoloLens and digitally place a life-size IKEA dining table right in your actual physical dining room. You can literally walk around it to see if it fits before you ever buy it. Or, think of Pokemon Go, where digital creatures just pop up on your real-world sidewalk. But whether we're talking about full immersive VR or mixed AR, absolutely none of this works without the true unsung hero of the hardware, the gyroscope. This tiny little component is constantly, instantly communicating your exact head angle to the software. That's what ensures the digital world updates the exact millisecond you turn your head. Which brings us to section 4, real-world VR applications, because this is about way more than just gaming. There are generally 3 levels of immersion we look at. We've graduated from non-immersive standard PC screens up to semi-immersive environments like those massive high-res flight simulators, all the way to fully immersive head-mounted displays. We're literally at the point where astronauts are using these fully immersive setups to prep for deep space exploration. And that introduces what we call the no-risk training method. Just imagine a medical student performing incredibly complex surgeries virtually, or a mechanic tearing down a virtual jet engine. Whether it's high-stakes military combat simulations, road driving practice without the risk of a real accident, or even interactive fitness programs in your living room, VR is making learning profoundly safe and effective. So where is all this heading next? Let's dive into Section 5, the future of VR. It's wild to look back at the journey. We started with really rudimentary 3D graphics back in the 1950s and those clunky Sensorama machines in the 90s. Today, we're enjoying wireless 6DOF tracking and precise eye calibration, but tomorrow, we are looking straight down the barrel at neural interfaces that connect directly to our brains and incredibly advanced physical haptics. We are literally stepping into the realm of smart suits right now. Tech like Thermor and the Tesla suit are packed with vibration sensors and temperature controls. They let you actually feel a cold virtual wind, the heat of a digital sun, or the physical impact of an object. It completely bridges the gap between just seeing a world and physically feeling it. Now combine those haptic suits with bleeding-edge software concepts like foveated rendering. That's a clever trick where the headset uses eye tracking to save processing power by rendering only exactly what you're directly looking at in ultra-high quality. As we move toward modular headsets, adaptive AI-generated environments, and photorealistic 4K worlds, the digital space is going to become completely indistinguishable from reality. Which leaves us with a pretty profound thought to ponder today. As this customized reality becomes just as vivid, just as interactive, and physically just as tangible as our actual lives, when our virtual worlds truly feel real, where will you choose to live? Thanks so much for exploring the alternate reality of VR with me today, and keep questioning what's possible.